I'm really nervous about this tonight because not very often do you give a public address to your third grade teacher, and if I don't do it well, I'm pretty sure Ms. Mitchell's going to keep me in at recess to try it again. Just so you know, Ms. Mitchell, I was paying attention, so you don't have to throw that eraser. People think that's a joke. A few of us in the room, we know better, don't we? I saw it bounce off Eddie's head. I was there. It's not a rumor. He left a chalk dust print in his hair. And trust me, Eddie paid attention after that. Some people might call that the good old days. I think Diana Vasquez said it really well. She said it perfectly, actually. She said, right there at the end, she said, we need to have somebody looking at us from the outside who sees our greatness even when we can't see it. Tonight we honor those people who made it the mission of their career, their life's work, to find potential, to coach it, to nurture it, to expect it, and to demand higher levels of achievement. We honor those teachers, those support staff who today are risking innovations rather than operating the status quo. Tonight we affirm that for each world champion, there must be a student champion, and we cannot have one without the other. Before we move on, please join me in thanking the talented Torres and district staff that always comes together behind the scenes to make this so successful and elegant. So one last round of applause, please. Also, please join me in my appreciation for the Madera Linkage Foundation board. They're a fantastic group of committed local leaders who care about the success of our students and staff, and they really do. They put a lot of time and effort aside to make success happen for them. I'd also like to particularly thank Tim Riche for being an everlasting student champion from within Madera Unified and for always recruiting others to support us. Tim does a fantastic job as our cheerleader. Our community is better for that adopted Cajun, that's for sure. Making Madera a better place to live is for Tim a very personal mission, and I join him in that. All education is personal. It may seem that everything we experience and learn happens out in the world, but it only really happens in our head. And no one is in there but us. When our student champions leave a meaningful legacy in our lives, it happens because they created an experience or taught an enduring lesson, and it lives on in our heads and in our hearts. Those experiences and lessons change lives, and our student champions have been changing lives and families for decades. They changed the lives of my sisters and me. And we owe their legacy a great deal of future hard work, creativity, resiliency, and a fearless drive to continuously improve. My remarks tonight are not so much a state of the district. With all we're doing and achieving, and at the rate we're growing, you don't have 90 minutes to listen to it all. And even if you did, I'd lose interest with you, I know. And I definitely have the words. I've been doing a great deal of thinking about the future. Do you realize that the students in the video you saw tonight will likely see the first days of the 22nd century? We're in the 21st. Not very many people have yet contemplated that. These students will see the first days of the 22nd century. The investment our student champions make today will live on into that century, and that's a fact. I want to prove to you that point. In February of 2011, in the last 12 hours of my grandfather's life at age 97, at Cedar Creek, right here in Madera, while in hospice, he had an incredibly lucid moment, and he shared it with me and with our family. There were a whole bunch of them, actually, a lot of stories, but one really stood out to me because it seemed as though he was trying to make a statement without making a statement about the affirmation of our family business of education. He wanted to talk about the difference made by his Kerman High School class of 1932 football and basketball coach and PE coach and history teacher, Mr. Sam Johnson. Coach Johnson's lessons lived on in me. I heard them all. I never met him, but now his name has been heard by all of you 90 years later. Tonight, he is not forgotten. So legacy is on my mind tonight, and I hope to reaffirm our commitment to the legacy we inherited from all those student champions who came before us, and whose legacy we stand upon, which we are now urgently building for ourselves. 57 years ago, our predecessors unified the school boards of Madera to work together for our posterity's future during the Cold War struggle of tyranny and freedom, where the results were really uncertain at the time. Now we are rejoined in that old struggle with a new age of polarization that tests the enduring proof of freedom in a new century. We sit together in this fine institution commemorating a legacy dedicated to the proposition that human potential is equally distributed among all peoples of the world, but opportunity is not. To honor these luminaries who lit the path through which we work today is fitting and proper. A more complete view of this new century challenges our commitment to the past. The student champions who inspired our inheritance through their struggle and selflessness call out for modern courage to evolve where necessary, and it's necessary. The community is largely unaware of tonight's honors, and my words will go unremembered, certainly. But things done for a child are remembered until the last breath. Bravery to improve our craft, collaborate toward higher expectations, and meet this moment dignifies the past legacies and those we are yet to earn. That this generation will lead our grandchildren into a more peaceful and prosperous community and nation. We must grow. We must grow as we have this year, faster than 90% of the nation. We must resolve to intentionally create co-curricular learning experiences for our students so that all feel they belong. We must validate the worthiness of language and culture and extend professional trust to colleagues and lift this community upward. If talent is evenly distributed across humanity, but opportunities are not, then student champions like you have a responsibility that these young people will lead a more free and just world. That is our mission. And we student champions assembled here will ensure the legacy we inherited endures into the 22nd century. Please join me in affirming our commitment to our nation's future in this small place that means so much to so many of us. Because you believe in us, we proudly say, in our students and our community, we believe. Good night, and thank you for celebrating with us this evening.